Hell no. The goddamn world, Lord.
Let's get it.
Yo.
Well,
Welcome to the. Everybody can hear everybody.
yeah.
Yeah.
Y'all, we're gonna get the BWO podcast started tonight. We're gonna be interviewing Jared James, DubTown Bullies. Has a couple champions, a few away from one away from Grand, one away from a major away from champing out to have almost 5 grand champion dogs. He's in Oklahoma. He just moved to a new part of Oklahoma. I'm gonna let him kind of tell all that, but he's the chapter leader of BWO in Oklahoma, and glad to have him. Got a lot of knowledge. Used to breed horses, but kind of applying the same science and madness to the dog world. A lot of knowledge. Real good guy. Glad to have him be part of BWO. Appreciate all your hard work. He's the muscle and the brains kind of behind the podcast itself. So hats off to him for putting in the work to get the podcast going. But and here with my boy Jared Harmon, the original member, co-founder of the BWO, Mississippi Bully Combine down in Amory. Glad to have him on. I just wanted to bring somebody else on, that was all about BWO. And like I said, Jared's been there since day one. Glad to have him kind of back on track with us. And anyway, Jared, there's my introduction. You tell us a little bit about yourself. We'll try to watch these comments. What's good, Corey? Corey Latham, hit us up. We'll see if we can. Jared, try to keep an eye on it. We're gonna try to break 20 people this time. I think we had 20 something last time. We're gonna try to break 20 this time.
We got up to 20. I think we got up to 22 last time, but it looked like there was a fair amount of promotion and traffic today, so maybe we'll get lucky.
All right. Well, yeah. Go ahead, Jared. Kind of tell us, just kind of give us a little rundown. Short and sweet as possible, but give us a little rundown of what got you into bullies.
Why you gotta stay short and sweet as possible? See,
well,
he knows I like to talk.
Oh, Jared's long-winded, y'all. He's like me, but just kind of give us a little story about you, or what you would want people to know about you. What's new in your life? What's new in your program? Just kind of start with there. Maybe we'll get some questions and stuff. And like I said, Jared, if you got anything you want to add to it, just jump in there, brother.
All right.
I got you.
Well, go ahead, Jared.
Oh man, nothing really. I guess pretty much the same question as everything is like what pretty much got you started into bullies. I know Lance said a while ago about horses. So, what really got you? I guess your passion to start with the bullies itself.
Yeah, well, So I bred horses about 25 years ago, and I did that for about 11 years. Then I got divorced and all that jazz, and so then I didn't really do anything animal wise for a long time. And really, and I didn't really relate it back to COVID at the time, but most people know I've had a lot of back surgeries. I've had 10, and but in 2019, I had 2, one in May and one in December, and that was number 9 and number 10, and so at that time, and I spent pretty much all of 2020 just recovering from back surgery, trying to walk again and kind of get going and that kind of thing. And I'll be honest, I was a pretty bad spot. I hadn't been able to do anything for about 4 years. I'd go from the table to the couch to the bedroom to the table to the couch to the bedroom, and so having those 2 surgeries, and then recovery and everything. So mentally, I was just in a really bad spot, and I didn't really see I didn't have a very bright outlook for my life, but
come on, Jerry, talk about some dogs, baby.
So I got to thinking, I was like, I had one dog at the time. I had a little Boston Terrier, and I was like, I want to get a bigger dog. And I don't know, it kind of came about on Facebook, and I'm not sure really where I saw the dog, but I saw a dog, and I'm like, man, that's a really cool looking dog. I said, what kind of dog is that? And it was American Bully. And
you don't remember which one it was?
I don't remember the dog that I saw, but my first bully, I mean, yeah. So I got a hold of a local guy. His name is John Lauderdale, Green Country Bullies. He's been breeding dogs for a long, long time. He was a old game dog guy and then got into bullies, I don't know, maybe 11, 12 years ago, something like that, right? And so he lived out by my folks. And so I got in touch with him, and I actually went out. It was my birthday. It was going to be my birthday present to me. And so I went out because he had a male. He had 7 males. He's like, look, I got to move a dog, right? Kind of thing. And so I bought my first bully. His name was Hooch. And let's see. I got a good picture. Hang on just a second. I got a good picture of Hooch.
So you just kind of down in your life, kind of done with the horses, and are you weren't going to be physically able to do the horses no more, and you just wanted to put your passion towards something else, and American Bully just kind of, that's a big dog.
There's Hooch. He was 16 inches, about 65 pounds at maturity. I mean, he was kind of I don't
bigger
know.
Than that.
He'd be classified probably as a classic, but Eminence Boss, and then some old more pit style classic style bullies on the bottom side, right? But no, I mean, I wasn't only just doing bad, Lance, I was ready to not live anymore. It's kind of just one of those things. But anyway, so I got Hooch, and I was blown away. He was a kennel dog. He'd pretty much just lived in the kennel for 14 months. He's 14 months old when I got him. And so you go through the house breaking and all that stuff, but I was just impressed at how loving and sweet of a dog they were, and then the way that they looked and everything. And then I got to think, I was like, my life, and I know you can relate, Lance, having been an athlete for a long time and competitive and things like that, I needed something. Being disabled, I needed something to put my energy into. I needed a reason to keep on going. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I had to have something, right? And I'm like, well, I used to breed horses. I mean, I could breed dogs. They don't require as much room, and I could, kind of thing. And so I decided I was going to breed bullies. And then I started down the path of, learning, and I bought a couple other dogs. And as time went on, I kind of learned and realized that those dogs weren't quite going to cut it. I had bought, by the time I was in bullies for a year, I had acquired 3 more dogs. And then did my first breeding with an old edge female, Melody. And my first breeding, she reabsorbed the pups, got pyometra, and I had to spare. So that I was planning on keeping females, of course, from that breeding to kind of move me forward, right? And then, so that set me back. So I kind of was back to the drawing board, and that's when I added Janie and Lily a couple of years ago, right?
Yeah.
And so again, I had added Maggie, and she was about a year old probably when I added Janie and Lily.
Isn't Maggie the one you were showing when I met you first?
Maggie was the first one. That's Maggie.
Yeah, that's the one y'all just bred to Sriracha, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's we had our litter last Wednesday. They're a week old now.
Yeah, y'all be sure to hit up Corey Latham, Vicky, Victoria Marie, out of Alabama, and Jerry James on that litter there, y'all. It's a BWO collaborative litter. I'm not trying to cut you off, Jerry. I just wanted to, give a shout out to y'all. Puppies look really good. We've seen a couple pictures, and I don't know if y'all put them out for the public yet, but anyway, they
I
got a
know
nice
that,
litter. Y'all hit them up.
Yeah, I know Corey and Victoria will probably have some for sale. I won't, as far as the ones that I'm getting, but I think that they will. So yeah, hit them up.
Okay.
And if you don't know them and want an introduction, hit me up and I'll make the connection and that kind of thing. Right. So
yeah, that goes for all of us.
Yeah. But,
Yeah.
so yeah, Maggie was the first one. I got her and I sent her to Ashton Johnson for training.
What got you into wanting to show, though? Just kind of doing research on them and kind of what popped up was people showing, or like what? I mean, because you went from, trying to have they gave you something to do to keep you positive and, keep you wanting to stay active and living. And, so that's major. But what made you want to start pushing the show ring, Jay?
Competition and be the best.
Okay, that's a good answer. I like that.
I'm a driven guy. I don't know how to do anything else.
Go big or go home, right?
I don't know any other way.
We ain't going home, baby.
No, we ain't going home.
We ain't going home.
So I had a lot to learn, but Ashton trained her and then he showed her, champed her out. I went to the shows, I watched, I learned, and that's how I met you, and then we got to talking and you were nice to me, which, looking back on it is, pretty big shock. But, you showed me your dogs and you were really nice and, you talked to me and everything. And so we kind of went down that path, and I don't really remember exactly how we got into the discussion of a co-own, but I know that I was looking for other dogs, I think, and that maybe you remember the story better than I do.
And this is all pre-BWO, right? Like, we did these deals before you were even in the group.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but anyway.
Go ahead. I was going to say, is that what got you into showing? Like just kind of going to one or two, or was it, like what made you say, hey, Ashton, I want you to train my dog and get to go into shows? Like, I know you said competitiveness and wanting to win, but I mean, how'd you find out about the shows? I mean, what got you, what's one thing that got you, or you just saw something and you were like, hey, I'm going to go check this out?
Well, the people that I bought Maggie from, they knew Ashton. I said, well, do you know somebody that, I'd like to show? Do you know somebody that can train her and so on? So they kind of gave me his info and I contacted him. But having been a horse breeder that actually went to shows and campaigned and that kind of thing, the competitive part of me, I needed, not only did I need the companionship of the dogs, but I needed something to compete in, because all the other things that I used to compete in, I could no longer do because of my back. And so I needed something, to put my energies into. And, I wanted I decided to breed and build a program, and I knew how to go about that because I did it with horses. So I'm like, okay, follow the same methodology. And so I knew I needed to get out and show. I knew I needed to create relationships. I knew I needed to add some more dogs. I didn't have a lot of money, so I knew I had to be creative about it. And that's how I ended up co-owning Janie and Lily.
Okay.
So
where do you see yourself in 5 years, Jay? I mean, we kind of asked some of the same questions, but where do you see you with the dogs and your program? And you made big leaps towards your yard this weekend,
Well, man, at my age, I hope I'm still here in 5 years. But
he ain't that old, motherfucker.
I expect to have a few grand champions by then. I expect to have a good, solid, consistent yard. I'm laying, and I had to back up some, and so that's really kind of hurt me. People see, I'm still laying the foundation, but I I plan my breedings 3 generations out, and I'm still laying that foundation. So in 5 years, I expect to see a lot of quality dogs, a lot of consistency, see my breeding plans kind of come to fruition, and to be at the top of the game in every form and fashion out there in the show ring. Oh, where'd Jared go?
I'm still here.
He keeps hitting the button or something.
I was trying to get this comment off of there. I was just wanting y'all to read, who was talking or whatever.
Yeah, it's Andrew Williams. This is pretty much the first bully he ever bought. Turned out to be a micro. Was aiming for it to be pocket. To each its own. Being a new owner, it's a gamble if you're not update on the learning experience. Is pretty much what he said.
Yeah. No, I was just saying. So he's just pretty much saying, he's had a bad experience. You got to kind of roll with the punches. We appreciate you tuning in, Andrew. But I was just wanting to try to keep Jared's stuff going, Jared. But I didn't know how to get that comment off of the screen, yeah, Jared. Sorry, y'all. We're still learning this, y'all.
Let's see. I can't remember now where.
I tried to click on it. Okay, there it is. Never mind. You just got to double click on it. My bad, guy.
Double click.
Yep. So 5 years, you see yourself, Jerry. A few more grands, a more established breeding program. You said something about going backwards. Were you like going backwards, like you had to stop and change directions, or going backwards because you took L's, or how did you go backwards?
Because I took L's, you buy a puppy, you raise it for 2 years, you do your first breeding, and then they reabsorb and get pyometra, and you get no puppies, right?
Yeah.
And then you have to go buy more puppies, and so you've lost 2 or 3 years worth of progress.
Oh yeah.
And so, I took some L's.
So in your breeding program, are you trying to just focus on one line right now? Or are you trying to have you a couple of different lines, so you can kind of make a couple steps at one time? Besides the Sriracha breeding, which is not trying to downplay it at all, but what else do you have up, besides that, that you want to even, you ain't got to tell everything, but just tell what you want to tell, or if you got some more exciting stuff coming up.
Going to have 2 lines, stand pockets, and as far as my program, I feature Waffle House blood in a couple of different ways, not just through John Wayne, but and then Bistro, Blue Force, love the Blue Force blood, and then a little bit of Dax. Now I'm different than a lot of guys. You see a lot of people throwing a lot of Dax in there, and I still believe that a little bit of Dax goes a long way. And so as far as the direction and that kind of thing, so most people do not know this. I've shared it with you, Lance. Talk about it briefly. We lost Lily 2 weeks ago, the black 2-year-old female that we had. And that is not only is it heartbreaking, but a huge blow to my program. I was getting ready to breed her to Buster in July. And she had a tendency to hyperventilate, get real wound up. And I think that something happened. We were gone. She had been checked on a couple hours prior to. And we came home from our day trip and found her dead in the yard. And so that's a huge blow to my program. But, I've been
trying to keep moving, right?
And that's just it. I'm not gonna quit her. I'm gonna keep on trucking. I backed up. I punted. I got had breeding plans. I know how to kind of go about and regroup. So I'm doing that. We'll be breeding one of Maggie's daughters, bred to a Waffle House son. We'll be breeding her in the fall to another Waffle House son.
Okay.
And so she is the biggest of the three sisters. She's really close to standard for a female, and I think she really takes after her sire's mom. And so I think they're only a year old, right? But I think she's going to be a pretty good sized female, and she carries some of Lily's blood. So we'll go ahead and we'll do that. We'll do that breeding this fall when she has her third heat. And then, as you know, once Janie comes in heat, once we get this grand champion out of the way, I will be breeding her after nationals.
I'm excited, bro.
Me too, especially
nice stud
that I got picked out. He's a big standard dog, 17 inches, 95 pounds. He's actually a for those that know, a Blue Force Garfield son.
Jared knows about that Blue Force Garfield.
A lot of old school. Do you, Jared? You got one?
I got his son, and I have the. It's actually owned by Ken Miller, Champion Junior, which is a Garfield son, bred back into Champion Uwe, which is like 2 times Garfield. I got a son off him. That Miss Nell, he's more standard classic, big head, big Brumel boy. Like I said, nice, clean, but he's pure. Like I said, with a little small cross of the stuff that you like with the bust blood in there. I think I posted him the pedigree that time in the group right there. Yeah, like that's a lot of the stuff I like. That.
Well, it just so happens, since you mentioned that, Jared, that's who I'm breeding Janie to, is Junior.
Okay, yeah, nice male. I've got pictures with him. Like I said, got to, go up there and see Mr. Ken a couple times, and boy, I'm talking about, he's real, man. Like, beautiful dog, big head, perfect dog, man. As far as big standard, I have that credit put back myself, man. So yeah.
Yeah, I'm excited about it, man. I think it's going to be a good mix,
Well, when you watch that dog move across the yard, I mean, that top line never bounces. I mean, he's nice.
Yeah. He's one of the standards that walks out and you're just like, yes, sir. Like, when he's letting him out that house and he comes trotting along there, man, it's like, oh, nice boy. Like, yeah.
And so then that Garfield blood and that Blue Force blood with the Waffle House kind of plays into my next generation as well. And so I'm kind of just going to weave that, in together into the standard line, but also my pocket line. Now, of course, I did the breeding with Maggie and Sriracha to get that
more heavier on the Rocco side of things.
Well,
on that breeding.
What I wanted was Sriracha has a really high inbreeding coefficient, and Maggie, what she needed was we needed to improve the rear end. We needed to improve the angulation, right? And so, so we'll see if those pups turned out that way. But I did that breeding to get a male for my pocket line.
That's what Con says. Ain't it? Breed the rear first. Everything else will fall in place.
That's what he says. And Sriracha and Juggernaut, their litter mates, they both have great rears, great angulation. We'll see if it worked out, right? I mean, that's all we can do.
That's all anybody can do, until I feel like you get, your program to where you're really producing consistently and, and get something that produces what you want consistently, not just producing consistently what you want consistently,
Yeah, and that was kind of a line breed between Sriracha and Maggie. Maggie goes back to Rocco on her sire line through Big Red, but then she also carries 3 crosses to Phenom, which is a Dax son. And so Maggie's about a 50-50 dog, Dax blood and then old school blood. And so I went with Sriracha, and his I know I talk about inbreeding coefficient a lot, but his was 30 and Maggie's is 5. And the puppies come out around 10, which is just a nice sweet spot as far as I'm concerned. And so we'll see how it worked out when they get a little older. But Victoria says the best picked male in that litter is a Grim clone. So, hey, I guess we get one.
I mean, if you got,
that's good to be comparing to, I guess. Big shoes to fill there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So, time will tell, but Buster, him, those of you that
post a picture of your boy Buster up. Yeah, look at Buster.
There's Buster. Buster has all of his points, but he's one major from champ.
He'll get it.
And he just got booted out of the pocket class last November into the standard class. He grew on me, added some muscle or something, But
well, it'd be height, wouldn't it? If you get moved from the pocket to the standard, it'd be height.
Yeah, but
right?
I don't think his skeleton grew. I think he just added muscle on top.
Oh,
right?
I got you. I see what you're saying. My bad, Jerry. That's me being, Mississippi down here.
So Buster's.
I love his head, bro. I really do. I love that motherfucker's headpiece, man.
He's 17 inches, almost head's 25 and a half right now at 16 months old.
Open for stud?
Weighs 83 pounds right now. Open for stud. I got an intro rate, $750. Still got 4 spots.
Good price, y'all. If y'all on here looking, y'all jump on it.
Buster is a grand champion, Boogie Knight's son, which is all old school Gotti blood and a little edge. And then out of line bred, the bus and bistro on the bottom side. But anyway, that's old Buster.
Beautiful dog.
I think Buster will produce standards as well as pockets. He's going to be kind of right there. So
how do you feel about that? Like running, I know you said in your program you wanted to have standards and pockets. Do you think you'll ever run a standard to a pocket, or are you going to try to breed pocket, standard to standard?
Well,
or would you breed Buster to something a little shorter, hoping that they would give you pockets? And like you said, he's done got moved to the standard class.
Well, you breed 17-inch Buster to a 16-inch female, even though she's a standard by the height, you're very apt to, to me, a tall pocket, short standard is my favorite kind of dog. They move better.
I got you. Yeah. Not too tall, not too long.
Right. But, I love Maggie. She's 13 inches tall. She's a little short shit, but as far as movement, aesthetics, I prefer a tall pocket, short standard dog. Didn't used to be that way. Used to just like pockets. But when I got Janie and she got bigger, and I don't know, I just kind of fell in love with standards.
I got you. Yeah, that's what I'm shooting for but it's hard not to like a nice pocket, man. Let's just be real. It's hard not to like something that's just got just as big as head as a standard, but on a shorter frame, shorter legs, which makes everything look a little,
yeah.
Look more, bully, phenotype.
Hard for a 14-inch pocket to beat a 16-inch pocket, though.
What do you mean? You think the taller dog has a better chance?
I do. I think they picked the bigger dogs.
Think they might have a little better movement, huh?
Well, they do have better movement, but I just think there's a natural gravitation towards a bigger dog, even though they may be in the same class, right? That's just kind of what I've seen. The bigger dogs tend to win. So, but you know what? You can breed standard to standard, pocket to pocket, and I think you should. I think that I don't think you ought to be kind of going much in between, because they are kind of different dogs, and I think you ought to keep those lines discreet. But
I bred a pocket to a classic and got a goddamn XL.
That's the thing. All you
So,
can do
and
is
that's the
breed
thing
good
with our
dogs.
breed, bro. That Jerry and I and so I just got back from a UKC show, and I'm not even talking about the American bullies because American bullies are American bullies, no matter where they go.
Yeah.
You do tend to see more of the smaller, more classic dogs at the UKC, but man, and I said it the last time I went, man, to look at a poodle and it be a standard, a miniature, a short, whatever. There's different sizes of these things. They all look like a motherfucking poodle.
They all look
Like their face looks the same, their hair looks the same. They may be different colors, but they are the same. And you just look, and I know they got way many more years, probably hundreds of more years than what we have. In our breed, what's our breed been going, Jerry? 30 years, 20 years?
25.
25, yeah, okay. They said that's an ABKC, but they probably were going a few years before then, trying to get it going. But anyways, 25 years. Do you think we're in a good spot with the bullies, or do you think it's what's your outlook like? Because to me, you go to shows like that and you see all these other breeds, and they all look identical. Like, how in the hell are you judging? Which I know they got, I know there's something that that I don't see that's like, oh, that dog isn't worth a damn, to a judge or whatever. But man, it's just, to me, it's just, I know we're a young breed, but man, if we could ever get to that, I just feel like that would be absolutely amazing. But anyway, like, what's your thoughts on that and stuff? And I know you bred horses and stuff, and like I said, what's your thoughts on where do you feel good where we're at? Do you think we're heading in the right direction, or do you or no?
I don't know that we'll ever see, based on the genesis of the breed and the culture, where things started and the reason ABKC was formed and that kind of thing. I think that it's going to be an uphill battle for us to for everybody to agree to conform. Let's put it that way. There are, like your poodles and stuff, you have different types within the breed, right? Now, Dave Wilson has talked about eventually on papers, registering and showing what dogs were pockets, which were standards, which were this, and trying to separate the dogs out by type. So it makes it easier for people to breed type to type, right? And then and create officially create different categories for those dogs, like your poodles, your standard poodles, your miniature, type thing. I worry that we lack the discipline as a community to achieve that kind of homogeneousness where they all look alike.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, and it's so different already from the XL to your pocket.
Yeah. But
still, from your standard poodle to your miniature poodle. And I understand they got breed clubs and all that. Do you think that's what this breed needs? I feel like it's the group of people, and I know there's probably a lot of drama that goes on with the poodle people, and it goes on with the lab people, and I know it comes with any. I saw it this weekend. People talking about, I don't know how that dog won, and saying every show's the same. Whoever wins shouldn't have won. Whoever didn't win, think they should have won. It's the same every show, but I don't know. I was kind of excited to see, like, I'm excited to see how close we can get. And I know we can only do so much as a group, but that's kind of another reason we wanted to start a group where we could have a bigger impact on the community. And I know we don't have really any strict breeding rules or anything in our group, but everybody, kind of holds herself accountable. And I'm happy with the way our group's breeding and the way they're working together. I really think that we're doing breedings that's going to better the breed, and we're still trying to do bully dogs, man. Like, we're just saying, hey, we want to just breed classics over here,
Well, to me, it boils down to two things: integrity and adherence to the standard.
Yeah.
So as a community, do we have enough integrity, and will we follow the best we can to breed to the standard?
I wish they would hold up the standard more in the shows.
I do too.
I wish, because that's where it starts. And I can't tell you how many shows I've been to, and people being there for like their first time or their second time. And I heard it all this weekend. Y'all's breeds all over the place. We don't know this and this. Well, stick to your poodle. You know what I'm saying? Shit. But go ahead.
I think they were all. You're talking about a standard, but how really, as a breed, can we? I guess how can you go by one standard when every registry has somewhat of a different standard? So I mean, it'd make more sense, I guess, if somebody or they could get together, make one standard for everybody to go by, because you got different standards for like.
Well, that'll
UKC,
never happen. That's why they go off and do their own shit.
I understand, but that's what I'm saying.
Were created because they didn't like what was going on in ABKC. They weren't winning, so they took their toys and went somewhere else.
When anybody has a pocket full of money, can go over and start a registry and, hope they get traction and then it pay for itself, I guess
what I'm trying to say is, but as far as you talking about getting, like the poodles, it's going to be harder because everybody has, if you don't like this standard, well, you go over here and it fits you better, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
I guess it'd be sort of harder is what I'm trying to say, to get that look and that thing when everybody has a different standard instead of one to go by.
That's what I mean, man. Like, and how do y'all feel? I feel like it's going to come down to groups of people like us and to everybody really that's got to, everybody's got to do their right part, I feel like. But it's going to come down to, doing your COIs, it's going to come down to more than just, man, that dog's big and got a big head, let me breed it. We got to get out of that damn mentality, like there's got to be structure somewhere.
Well, and let me say this, it's not unique just to dogs. When I was breeding Morgan horses, now the Morgan been around for 200 years, right? So, but you had kind of three different worlds. You had the old school style. You had the style that kind of changed when the United States government started breeding Morgans for cavalry horses, and they brought in a little thoroughbred and they opened up the registry, because the numbers got really low. And then you had the post-war Morgans. And then you had some guys that decided that they wanted a Morgan to look more like a saddlebred. And you had actually a couple of people that got banned by the registry for life because they technically, what they did was they hung papers, right? They bred Hackney horse, which is more of a saddle type horse, to Morgans, and they got caught, right? And so within the Morgan world, you have people that love the original style horse, the government style horse, and the saddle style horse, right? And so that infighting continues today. They have breed clubs, but now they still have a registry that has one standard. And there is only one registry, but still,
so that helps, right?
Infighting,
That's right. You're going to have that. I mean, I know you're going to have change in people that are wanting this. But look, Tiffany had a good, this is like kind of speaking on what we were saying. Went to a show last month. One judge said one dog in the classic class didn't meet breed type. Then the next judge placed them first in the class. I'm still fairly new the breed, but the inconsistency of the community is all over the place. That's what I'm talking about. I've been at them shows and I've had so many people, like even people that's like, gotten dogs off of like friends of mine or stuff, and they'll show up at the show and be like, hey man, this dog was, I got this dog for this, and they're telling me it's this. And then you go into the next very ring, and then like she said, that dog got dismissed from one ring and then goes under a judge, same registry, same show, same day, and gets a first. To me, I just don't get it. I mean, I know you're going to have difference of opinion and stuff like that, but man, I mean, golly, man. And I've seen it in my run, from where it started when me and Jared was going, going all the time to, where I was pushing by myself, it just kept getting, there was a time where it seemed like the higher the rear that they were picking the dog. And then it seemed like, as long as your dog had a good head and his fronts wasn't too bad, he was probably going, he was going to beat you. And they kept saying breed type. And I'm not, and I would never want to be a judge. And I would never want that job. And I appreciate, I'm not down in any judges at all. I mean, obviously we're not calling names or anything, but to me, it's so inconsistent from week to week. And shit is getting now, like Tiffany said, it's getting like that from ring to ring. And I'm not saying, but I'm not saying that the dog should win all the time. I'm not saying that the same dog should win, but I'm saying that if that dog's better than every dog for this year, next year, last year, however many years, that dog should still win. If Blue's the best dog for 6 years, Blue's the best dog for 6 years. I feel like they put the reset button on the American Bullies in the ABKC. Like I said, I've shown mostly ABKC. We have shown 6 other different registries, but I've shown the most in ABKC, and I don't know, man. It's kind of where I feel like my home is, and I feel like that's where we all met. Pretty much the whole group met ABKC. I would just like to see them get more consistent with their picks, and I know for change there has to be bigger. If you're wanting bigger, there has to be changes, some live and let live. But I just feel like they tried to change it too fast. I felt like they shouldn't have changed the breed standard from, the classic to standard like they did until they had 50 to 60 blues out there showing, Well,
I think the thing is there's been so many registries now created and they all need judges. Now, how many really qualified judges are there?
Well, I mean, I'm not, like I said, I'm not saying who's judging and who's qualified or who's not, because I think they got to do tests and all that. It just, to me, it seems like nobody's on the same page. It seems like Dave and a few people are on one page, and this is all within the ABKC. And then you got like this group of judges that's this way and this group of judges this way. I just think for our breed to get better, it's going to have to be longer. Look, Denzel said, I witnessed that before, confused the hell out of me. See, it's confusing to the people. Joshua Jackson, the same dog, should still win if nobody has made a better dog. I agree with that 100%. It's bad for the sport, but forces people to make something better. Exactly. If you're tired of that dog beating you, get in the lab and try to bring something that can beat him. And I'm not saying I'm a Blue fan. I'm a Zero fan. I'm a Hangman fan. Those are the dogs since I've been in the game who's won national. So I can't talk about the Bus and all the dogs before them, the dogs that I don't really know or never really got to see. I look at pedigrees, y'all, but it's not the same. I didn't get to see those dogs compete against those dogs, but to me, Blue, Grand Champion Adonis, dogs like that were, man, like that's what I want. Like that's exactly what I want. Like that's what I think the breed needs. But then they wanted to move it up too far. I don't know. Like I said, I'm not knocking on anybody. It bothers me because I really care about the breed. And I think we all do. And I know Jerry does. And I'm sorry to kind of spilling, Jerry. I don't know. That kind of hit me tonight. I wanted to kind of say my piece. I'm gonna kind of back off of it, but just, I don't know. Do you agree with, what I'm saying, or do you have an input on what you think about how they're trying? Do you think they're changing too fast and all that?
You asking me or Jared?
Jerry, it's your podcast, baby.
I think things shifted pretty fast based on just a few dogs. Now, I will say this. I believe Dave Wilson's personal vision also changed. I think he got in the middle of one stream and then kind of went the other way, because he used to say one thing and then he started saying something else. But I think, so they decided to shift, but people can't just change their programs overnight. People.
Well, and if you change, I've been in it 5 years and it's changed 3 times. So hell, I ain't even had, so us as breeders were kind of like, what the hell's going on, so that's why I say I just really feel like you're just really going to have to you figure out what type of dog you like and try to create that dog and hope by the time you get it, they ain't changed the standard 60 more times, and it just don't make no sense to me.
Go by is what Dave said, and he's like, the American Bully was meant to be the most extreme dog possible without falling apart.
Yeah.
Right. So.
Yeah, they want more extreme.
Right to the edge without it falling apart. Okay. So what is fall? But to me, I think a dog should be well balanced, should move well, should be aesthetically pleasing. I like don't get me wrong. I mean, I like the extreme kind of look, but that dog still needs to be able, I think a dog should be functional, should be able to move and so on,
Me too. What do you think about that comment right there, Jerry? Trent, I'm not going to try to say your last name, buddy. You look like you're in pretty good shape. I don't want to mess it up.
Yeah,
Trent said, Trent, yeah, Jared, he'll beat you up. Bringing back the extreme class may help with holding ribbons. I mean, I've been to shows where they withheld ribbons, Trent. And I think that does help, I think that does help, but breed type would force a better quality of conformation in the show rings. I think this is my thing. If it's going to be a conformation show, they need to be able. The movement needs to be high on the list. The temperament needs to be high on the list, and structure needs to be high on the list. Which that all kind of goes with hand in hand. If your dog's got good structure, 9 out of 10 times, the motherfucker gonna move good. Right. But I mean, I don't know, Jared. Jared's more of the extreme breeder in our group. He likes bone dome, short to the ground, dogs. I don't know. This is Jerry's podcast, but like I said, how do you feel about that comment right there, Jerry? Bringing back the extreme class help. You think that would help? Like put some of these. I mean, extreme. Would it have a height? I mean, I don't know. I guess that's getting kind of talking about something crazy. We could talk about hours, but.
Well, I mean, they kind of have in some ways. They're starting to bring stack offs to almost all the shows.
Yeah.
But say that again.
They're starting to bring the stack off stage back to most of the shows now, so now I know that's not an extreme class, but it gives
but it's got more extreme
opportunity to show, right?
I like that. Yeah. I mean, I have nothing wrong with it. If your dog's a stack dog, Lord have mercy, knows hope we got one down here. But
but I got a question, and it goes back, talking about the extreme class. They used to have the extreme class, so therefore, I guess what I'm saying is, how would you go? Because they say the American Bully itself is supposed to be a more muscular, bigger bone in itself. So therefore, I think that's why they got rid of it, because it's not really supposed to be extreme. The dog itself is supposed to be an extreme dog. Right. And then you say on these stack offs, you hear about them talking about extreme. It's not just height. It's, the width plus of the height. So how would you go about would you have to slightly adjust rules for extreme class, like might not move as better, or how would that go? Or what do you think about that?
He's asking you, Jerry.
Well, I know for a dog to be technically extreme, the dog is supposed to be wider than he is tall.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
So But Bashar actually judged an extreme class down at a show recently, and I don't, I don't really have, I don't really have a problem if they brought an extreme class back. I don't know whether it should be part of the sanctioned show per se. You know what I'm saying? Kind of almost have it be an exhibition, but have them out in the ring, and that would be fine.
Pretty much until they get kinks worked out and actually know like what they're going to go for. What you're saying, or
yeah, but again, like I say, you go back to Dave has addressed that before. What he said. We don't need an extreme class really because the dog's supposed to be extreme anyway.
Yeah.
And I think in the past when they had the extreme, I think the reason they did away with it, I think they felt like there were a lot of dogs out there that were extreme that had a lot of issues, and they're kind of hype dogs. They're cool to look at, but they're tools at best, a lot of them, right? And if not used properly, those tools can really kind of harm the breed, right?
Well, when a messed up dog, just because it's got mass and stuff, but can't breathe or can't walk right, and gets used a lot, gets used by 100 people, I feel like that's more of the problem. I really think people ought to go to more shows. Like I said, I know it may sound like we're bashing shows. We're not, because we love the shows. That's what we're a show group. But we do love, like I said, we do love the shows, and we want them to continue to get better. And we think to beat a dog that truly meets the standard just because it's bullier. I agree 100%. I'll put this up. Jerry, you'll like that. A sloppy, overdone dog doesn't deserve to beat a dog that truly meets the standard just because it's bullier.
But I mean,
being bulliers in the standard, like, I agree 100%. Here you go, Jerry. You'll like this question right here. This old Joshua, he's an educated guy. He's always deep thinking. I wish they would get rid of the classic class and just let all the dogs of that height fall where they fall. Not saying they can't breed for cleanup or be used. Kind of like, you're talking about an extreme being used for a tool. He's talking about, get rid of the classic class breed and just put classics and standards and those type dogs in, and let whoever pick, because classic and standards are so subjective depending on who has the opinion. So whoever's judging may like a cleaner dog. So he's saying put them all in one class. That judge may pick the classic, dog looks a little more classic one week, but then you may go in another ring. I still think that's just going to cause too much. It's still too much, not on the same page, my opinion. I have a classic dog. I'm trying to get standard dogs. I don't like that my dog's a classic, you know what I mean? But we all, you end up, you go far enough in the shows, you'll compete against those pockets and those standards and everybody. I just don't know if that'll help clear things up or make things worse. What do you think about that, Jerry?
Well, let's talk about that part of it. I don't like the fact that a 16-inch male that weighs 65 or 70 pounds doesn't have a home anymore. That dog can't compete in pocket class anymore.
Yeah. I think I like the classes. I think they need to do a better job of everybody just runs to, in my opinion, everybody who gets beat once or twice in standard class tries to run the classic class. And here you are, like you said, going against a 70-pound dog and you're an 80-pound dog, but you couldn't cut it in the standard class. That's
and me personally, I like a 16-inch, 65, 70-pound dog is a nice dog, but there's no such thing as a classic pocket now, So, I mean, if your dog's not 80 pounds, an 80, 85-pound pocket, it don't stand much of a chance.
Oh, no doubt.
So you
And,
have
and I don't mind getting bullied. Like, I don't mind them. Yeah, I don't mind them saying, hey, we won't bully your dogs. And that's, and that's what we're doing. That's why we haven't been showing a lot. We're trying like hell to get, Jerry knows he does all my breeding coefficients. He knows we trying to get bullier overnight. But look, Tiffany said that's exactly what they're doing here in Canada. What do you mean, Tiffany? Can you elaborate on that a little bit? We got somebody all the way from Canada over here on our podcast, boys. We moving up in the world.
Yeah, right. We're reaching out.
There's Juan De Leon right there. Classics will fix the fucked up rears. I think when you breed dogs, and Jerry, what do you think? I mean, I think the dogs you breed. Oh yeah, she said there. See, that's what I'm saying. Losing the standard, running the classic, put a weight limit on the class. Yeah, that is another issue. Like I agree with Josh on that. But back to Juan's classics for fit. I mean, everybody's got their opinions. I'm breeding bullier dogs to my classic stuff over here, trying to get, hoping that, the good traits to go, fix angulation, but I'm hoping I get more bully, shorter, more muscle, more bone, the dogs have to complement when you breed, whether it works out or not. I mean, to me, I know when I first started, I was big on trying to figure out pedigrees, and Jared's like the Eminem of pedigrees. Lord knows that's why he made that face, because I used to call him all the time. I learned, man, you got to kind of, you got to look at pedigrees because you want to know where you're going. You got to have, like Jerry said, he's three breedings out on everything you do, pretty much.
3 generations, yeah.
Yeah, so I get having a plan, and a plan does kind of keep you focused. But man, at the end of the day, you got to breed the dogs in front of you, don't you, Jared?
Well, and like I said, I'm a planner by nature, so I have to have a plan. I have a bad memory, so I really have to have a plan. And then when things change, then you pivot, you change your plan. I go through, I'm on Facebook a lot. I look at everybody's dogs. I know my dogs. I know what my dog's weaknesses are. And then I take those dogs and I put them in my software. I look at the inbreeding coefficients. I rule out dogs based on phenotype. I rule out dogs based on inbreeding coefficients, where they fit in my program. And so I have a pool of dogs over here that if something happens, I can go to a different dog, because I've gone through my weeding out process, right, of all the dogs that I've seen. And I'm sure there's some out there that I haven't seen, but I can tell you I've been through every Waffle House Grand Champion and Champion, and determined which ones do fit my program and which ones don't.
Yeah, I got you.
So yeah, I have a plan,
Yeah, you got to have a plan.
That I use allows me to create phantom or fake dogs, so I can model breedings going, take 2 dogs I made up and then mate them, and then take those and then mate them and keep going, right?
Yeah.
Even though those dogs I just made those dogs up. So.
But that's pretty smart. I didn't think about that. That's what's good, y'all. That breeding coefficient, man. Y'all be sure to hit Jerry up. It's helpful stuff. Jerry, we kind of getting close to our hour. We definitely can keep talking. Is there anything you want to add about your program before we kind of go through some more of these questions? I'd like for you to give your opinion on 3 or 4 more of these questions.
I'm happy to give opinions on whatever I answer.
So you good on what you wanted to get out about your program, and you feel good about everything? You want to talk about anything else? You got anything that you thinking today that you really wanted to talk about?
No, not anything major. You asked me where I saw myself in 5 years. I did have somebody won't mention any names, yesterday asked me when I was going to start training dogs. And I'm like, man, I'm not qualified to start training dogs, but
that son bitch is one part away from being in a wheelchair. Hell,
I know, right? I mean, I can barely get around the ring as it is, but it was nice to be asked. And I mean, I've had a little bit of success, but Janie was easy and Buster was easy, and you question yourself, am I good enough to do that kind of thing? And we'll see. I said by the end of the year, maybe I'll reassess that. And I mean, maybe I will take one dog in for somebody and see how we go. But, we'll have to see how the rest of the year goes and see if I can accomplish the goals that I have set for what I want to do, and have feel like I'm worthy of actually training somebody else, training and showing somebody else's dog.
John Wayne won't let me. So you think you'll eventually do that? Is that what I just heard? Did I hear, hey, when you get a little better, you might start taking clients? Is that what I heard, Jerry?
Yeah, probably.
I'd love to see it, man. I know you're a dedicated guy, man. I know a lot of the hard work you put in, the moving you've had to do, changing jobs, just kind of going all different locations.
Well, yeah, I moved 3.5 hours to the northwest out here in the middle of
Nader country.
Out here in the middle of pretty much nowhere.
Tornado Alley.
To live with my my beautiful girlfriend Shauna, who is a huge help, having been a dog breeder herself and a former vet tech, and she helps me a lot, and kind of she helps me with my memory, and she's really good with the dogs. She loves the bullies, and
nice having a little help, ain't it, Jay?
Together we got 13 dogs right now. She already had some, and then I had some, and
damn.
So when we had to go to the cellar Monday night, it was fun trying to get 13 dogs down the basement.
And little son of bitches take up all the oxygen too, don't they?
Oh man, I'm telling you,
get your goddamn air tank down there. I already know, man. You ain't telling me nothing.
It was a mess, but we got them all down there, and but no, yeah, there's a lot of work to do here, things like that, but got more room. We're out in even though we're in a little town, we're out in the country. Neighbors can't complain about dogs and things like that. We got room to grow and so on. And so it's a positive. It's a positive all the way around.
That's what's up. Trent, did you? This is Trent Bill. I don't know. I may not be saying your name right. He said he's hit Jerry up. How did you? If you're still on here, how did you like the comparing the numbers, and do you think it shed a little light on your breedings from here on out? Just try to give your opinion down there in the comments if you want to, man, if you're still around.
Well, just so everybody knows, I mean, I'm a big believer in science, and I read a lot of science, when it comes to breeding and studies that they do and things like that. And look, there's always a time and a place for strong inbreeding or strong line breeding, but genetic diversity, increases vigor and vitality in your dogs. It increases size. It increases litter size. There's a lot of positives there. You can breed dogs with similar phenotypes and still have the consistency that you want in your litters. You just have to do a little bit more research in the dogs that you're putting together. But I started doing the inbreeding coefficient stuff because I saw a lot of, not only did I do it 25 years ago, but I saw a lot of people in our breed breeding the same dogs. Everybody's breeding the same dogs, and then line breeding the same dogs and having the same dog 4 times in 3 generations. And I'm like, they don't realize how dangerous that is.
That's right.
So what Trent got to say, does ABK call for dogs to be wider? No, it doesn't.
He was explaining that about the extreme class. Oh. I think he when he heard you talking about, what to do with the extreme class earlier. No, they don't call for that. But yeah, you're right. I mean, I don't think I'm a movement guy. Like I said about the big dogs earlier, Blue, Zero, Adonis, all those big dogs, man. I mean, when they were out there, they moved, man. Every dog's got its flaw and everybody's got their favorite dog they like. But, I can just speak on what I've seen personally and competed against, on a regular basis. When you saw Zero or Blue come in the building, I mean, you couldn't help but be like, damn, I wish that motherfucker was mine. You know what I mean? Like,
it's just in the breed. They're unicorns right now.
That's what I'm saying. I think, and not just ABKC, but I think everybody kind of jumped the gun, Give it a 10, 15, 20 more years, and okay, let's get us 60 blues. When you're standard class and you show up and you're literally having to like go through the breed standard then to pick a winner. That's the only thing. Let me see. We're running out of time here, guys.
I got all kinds of time.
My boy Jerry wanting to run them gums tonight. I know Jared needs to take a shower probably. Don said, "What's up?" Trent said, "Very true, Jerry. You the man." Yeah, we like Jerry over here too, man. He's been very helpful for everybody. Trent, he was amazing, very informative, definitely gave me a different look on the breed. Yeah, man, when I had him break it down to me, I've done breedings where Jerry was like, hey, you pushing the envelope there a little bit, or hey, this may not be enough of, what you're looking for. And sure enough, on both of those occasions, it was, whoa, we pushed the envelope a little bit, and it was, whoa, we didn't get enough. So anyway, I appreciate you, Trent, saying that.
Thank you, Trent. And it's okay to push the envelope just to understand your risk. And that's all I try to do in helping people is just understand be informed about the risk that you're taking and what the possible outcomes might be. At the end of the day, it's your breeding and you decide what you want to do. I mean, that's because we all have a different risk tolerance when it comes
that's
to
right.
breeding,
And you got the numbers where you like to play in, right now, what you've seen. Like you said earlier, you had one bred, it came out to 10. That's your kind of sweet spot, that's where you like to rock. And what that breeding I did with Jay Prince was 33 times. And, but hold on, y'all, let me show you what we got. So, we were thinking we were pushing the envelope a little bit, but, and actually me and Jared Harmon co-own this boy right here. It's AKA Butterbean right there. Very nice looking bully dog. Does he have flaws? Yes, he has a couple flaws. But at 4.5 months, I mean, that's an impressive puppy. And the breeding coefficient, is it the inbreeding coefficient, Jerry? The inbreeding coefficient on that was like what I say, Jerry. Wasn't it like 33 or 36, which was where do we like to be at? 20, 15?
And here's the thing I tell people, right? That 33% for you, that's on paper. He's probably closer to 50 genetically.
Yeah. See, so that's a lot of DAX. But like Jerry, I got a lot of Waffle House over here. So I've spent my first 3 or 4 years trying to build my structure, and that's what I have over here. And I'm happy. I'm happy with what I got, but I definitely, to me, it's just hard not to, be impressed with, a little dog like that. Like I said, I'm not going to stay on it. This is Jerry and them's breeding they did. No, I don't know what that was. This is Jerry and them's breeding they did. All right, keeps going up. Oh, you're doing that shit, asshole. But
one of the reasons why I did this breeding was not only did I want to add kind of some of that blood, but and this is a very updated picture of Sriracha, and this picture was taken when Maggie was just a year old. So it's an older picture of her, but their phenotypes at the same age were so similar that I felt like it would just be, along with the bloodlines, I felt like it would just be a really good match, But no, this is Jenny from my first breeding. Look at that little cutie.
Yeah, she is cute.
And then that's her sister, Sadie.
Okay. These are all Jerry's dogs, y'all. Y'all be
She's a
sure if
year-
y'all ain't checked. Go ahead, Jerry.
She's a year old. And then there's your killer, you know.
Yeah, there's old Butterbean. Y'all get ready for the name. Anyway, get him back off camera. We ain't trying to show everybody, but we trying to show everybody, you know. But no, y'all, I appreciate everybody clicking in. We've had some people click in. Hey, y'all be sure to check Caleb and them out. Caleb, do they do theirs every Tuesday or once a month Tuesday, or is it every Tuesday?
Every Tuesday, I thought.
Every Tuesday. Y'all be sure to check their podcast out, man. They Bully Pride, they got some XLs, man. Y'all go check them out. I think they're over in Alabama or Georgia. I can't remember. But you know, they're I think Alabama, but they're good people, man. They got some nice XLs, big boys. Caleb's been very supportive of us, and we're very supportive of him. We appreciate the love, Caleb, 100%. Respect what you guys got going on over there. Got some body on him, yeah, Trent. He's a nice little pup. Every Tuesday, thank y'all. Every Tuesday, y'all check Caleb and them out. Bully Pride, they do the same thing. I think StreamYard. They interviewed me one time. I appreciate that. I got an interview. I got another interview coming up Friday. With the guy. I'm gonna get the info. I don't want to say the wrong name and say the wrong stuff. I'm gonna get the info. I'll make a post about that. Too. So y'all be sure to check that out. But appreciate y'all stopping in to BWO. Jerry, if you want to add anything else, Jerry, appreciate you coming on, man. It was good to have you. It's good to see you, man.
Well, you know, it's good to be part of the BWO. It was
well, I was talking to Jared too, you know. Jared, it was good to have you on, Jared.
I appreciate it, man. Oh yeah.
Yeah, Jared. Me and you probably need to talk a little bit of Blue Force stuff. I think maybe
y'all need to talk pedigrees for sure, man. I guarantee you, y'all could jibber jabber for hours.
Oh yeah, pick brains. That's the fun part of it.
Don't let him talk you out no puppy off that Janie breed.
Yeah, well, you know, they won't be no. I mean, the only way you'll be able to talk one is to you know, pull us something out of that wallet.
Hey, look, Jay, I appreciate you coming on, bro. It was good having you. Hey, like I said, appreciate you running the podcast. Y'all be sure, Jerry James, Oklahoma, northeast, you said? Northwest, Oklahoma, DubTown Bullies. Y'all check him out. Got quite a few champions. About to add some grand champions to his program. Got a couple breedings going down. Y'all already know what it is. BWO to the world blow, man. We still here, baby. Still rocking, still rolling, still going to shows. What's your next show, Jerry? What's up? Unless you don't want to tell nobody and pull up on them sniper style.
No. Next show, I won't be going, but we'll be sending champion Janie with Emmy and Bri Page to Colorado.
And that's BWO family too. That's BWO in Kansas. Probably the best handlers in the group, I would say. You know, not downing anybody, but
they're good.
You know,
and
probably the best.
In June, we will be going to New Mexico.
Oh, nice.
And going out there. Now that I'm way out here in Northwest Oklahoma, Colorado and New Mexico really aren't that far away. It's like going to East Texas or Shreveport, right? So.
Yeah.
So we'll go out that way, get to see some different dogs. There's a dog out there that I'm tentatively doing a breeding with that I actually want to see in person. He actually is a 0 son.
Okay.
So, but a lot of Blue Force on his mom's side.
Okay.
Nice.
And so I want to go, even though he's a grand champion, I want to go put hands on him. I want to see him.
Yeah, I think that's smart, dude.
You know, and so
100%. Don't do nothing else.
I'm like, instead of going someplace else, we'll go to New Mexico. Ain't been out there for a show, and we'll put hands on him. And then the early part of July, we'll head to Alabama to go pick up our puppies.
Nice. You gonna stop by here on your way down?
Well, you know,
Well,
I
fuck
guess
you, Jerry.
I guess it depends on the hospitality.
Well, I tell you what, you just keep your foot on the gas and your windows up, motherfucker. But no, y'all check Jerry out. He's a good guy most of the time. Y'all check him out. DubTown Bullies, Jerry James, Jared Harmon, Mississippi Bully Combine. He's got a lot of shit popping. Y'all be sure to check him out. He works all the daggum time, like most of the people in our group.
Except for me.
Yeah. Well, you know, goddamn, Jerry, we just talked about you for an hour and 15 minutes. Can you not let me give my boy Jared a little look? No, I'm just playing. But y'all check both these guys out. You know, always.
They talked about me for like 30 minutes.
Always, you know, check out Blue Magic Bullies. Check out all our groups that we have. You know, the Bully Way, John Bridges, Noble South, Jameson Pearson, Hard Knocks Kennels, Jeffrey Askew, Southern Hearts Bullies, Corey and Vicky. Team Page Kennels, Brian Emmy. They got married, so they are actually Team Page now for real on paper.
About time, right? Team
Page. Yeah. Got a beautiful little baby. Building a life together. They're the young ones of the group to keep us going. But like I said, y'all appreciate y'all chiming in. I don't know what was the most y'all saw us got up to. I saw about 19, 20 at one time.
I didn't see no numbers.
Okay.
I didn't see that many on this end. I thought I saw maybe 14, 12. That was the most I saw. But
oh no, you was running your lip. But anyway, y'all look, man, appreciate y'all tuning in. BWO, we're gonna do this the first Wednesday of every month. I think we got one more member left. Oh, second Wednesday of every month. Sorry. We're gonna do it second Wednesday every month, 7 o'clock every time. I think Jameson's the only one left now?
Yeah.
Oh, so Jameson's the only one left. And then we're going to start. We had somebody lined up this week. We're going to try to start mixing it up, get some people. They had some stuff come up. They didn't let me know what, but we tried to throw a little curveball at y'all this week, but we'll definitely ask some more people. And if y'all are interested in being on the show or being interviewed, please get with us. You know, we're down to meet new people. We're down to talk to anybody, but, you know, we want everybody, all different experiences from different states and everything. But anyway, good night, y'all. Thank y'all for tuning in. BWO to the world, blow. Jerry, you going to shut this thing off?
Yeah, I shut it down.
All right, brother. See y'all.
Later.
All right.
Thanks, Jared.
Oh, yeah.